All right, Ron Goodall, FightHype.com. I was hunting and tracking this man down for 2 weeks. You know what's funny? I've seen him in between both weeks. I saw him after the fight, all right? Literally after the fight. And then I seen him right a fight a week after. But I'm here with my man, none other than Lonnie B. A lot of people have been requesting for me to get to you, you know.
I love you guys and thank you guys.
So let's get into it, man. David beat.
I knew that was coming.
David won. David Benavidez won. I know he's gonna eat some crow. What's your thoughts?
Listen, he got my respect. Like I did say that, you know, I respect him. He got my respect because he's taking on a tough challenge. And David beat him, but like I was saying, he's no monster. But he did beat him. You know, I had it 8-4. David got my respect, man. He beat a real guy. He got my respect, man. Like, now I know he's a good fighter. Now I know he's a good fighter. David's a good fighter.
So in the beginning, David was styling on him. He was hitting him at ease. He was showing some slick defense, some shoulder roll, going to the body.
Yeah.
But the second half didn't really reflect the first half. Why do you think that? You think it was the extra weight?
Yeah, because he's fighting a guy who can take his shots. See, when you're fighting those little guys, it's only like the first half of the fight, David breaks him down with the hunting him down. And then he overwhelms him in the later rounds, you know what I mean? Because he got the size. But now he's in there with a guy just as big as him. And he had to work so hard in the beginning of those rounds, you know, hitting a bigger body, a guy that's fighting back, a guy that's good himself. David was getting hit too. You see, after the fight, his eyes was kind of swollen. He was getting hit back too, so by a bigger guy. You saw him, David was hitting him with them shots. He wasn't even budging Alexander. That was a good shot. Like, and I think mentally that did something to David why he slowed down, because usually he was the guy hitting guys, and that monster persona they got on him, he used to hitting guys and they being scared. But when he hit him, he's like, oh, that's a good shot, but, you know, I'm still here. You know, I ain't going nowhere. So, you know, that's why I think he said he going to exercise his right to fight back at super middleweight.
Well, he mentioned that he had a cut in camp. He had some injuries and things of that nature. You think that actually played a factor? I know every fighter has injuries going to fights, you know.
Right, that's part of the game. Listen, welcome to the life of a fighter. When you train, you got it. When you run, you get injuries. Like, you know, but David said before the fight, he was going to get a knockout. I'm getting a knockout. I'm getting a knockout. I'm getting a knockout. So just stand on that. But listen, I didn't get the knockout like I thought I was. He's a really good fighter. I just didn't get the knockout. I hate when fighters make excuses and say, oh, well, this and that and this. What you mean you had, an 8-week camp? An 8-week camp? Come on, it's not like you had this on a short notice. You had 8 or 10 weeks to prepare, so come on, man, stop it with the excuses.
Well, there was a media workout that I got.
And I heard they didn't do it because he had a cut. Big deal. What they got to do with your hands? What they got to do with his hands? In the fight. He ain't look cut to me when he was coming into the fight. Did he look cut at any of the media when they did the weigh-in, when they did the press? Did he look cut? So you can't use that. I see if he had a big cut then, like, oh, David cut. So he was cut then. It was healed by the fight. So you just didn't get the knockout, and that's just it.
Does this add more to, you know, your boy Arthur's resume that David goes up in weight, fights Alexander, Arthur fights him, which would be considered younger, maybe more in prime, coming off his biggest win, and dominates him.
Right. Arthur dominates David?
Well, I'm just saying, does this add more credence to what you were saying?
Oh, of course. Of course. Like, I'm standing on that. David get destroyed. If y'all can't see that now, because first of all, like I said, he's not strong enough to hurt Arthur. He couldn't even hurt Alexander Volznik. He was some good shots. Couldn't hurt him. He was still there. And if you look at, Alexander finished that fight strong. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he punches nowhere near as hard as Arthur. You know what I'm saying? In the second half of the fight, David slowed down because he was starting to get hit back. And he's like, oh, this is like, he fought a good fight. I'm not saying that, you know, David's a good fighter. He got my respect. I'm just giving you my perspective on it. You know what I'm saying? You saw in the later rounds, he started getting hit back. That extra weight, leaning and all that, and he can't just push his guys around. You saw what happened. David didn't finish the fight so strong. So with somebody like Arthur, who's going to be on you from every minute of every round to the 12th round, and who punches extremely hard, David's, like I said, David gets destroyed.
Do you feel that at this point, right, because Arthur was supposed to fight Bivol,
Yeah.
got injured, that none of those things are going to play a factor into him fighting potentially David or Bivol, you know?
Well, him and Bivol is definitely fighting. Of course, I got Bivol getting stopped. Benavidez said he's moved back down to 168. So I think he knows. You know, I think he knows. Like, look, man, this ain't. I think that's why it's important for the media. Like, it's like a gift and a curse when the media and like the politics of boxing choose you. When they say we're gonna choose you and we're gonna over promote you, what we're gonna do is just make up lies, because the public don't know nothing about boxing, so they listen to whatever they go with the narrative, whatever the media push or whatever the promoters push, they go with that. So now David realized, I'm not a monster. I'm a monster at the lower weight, beating up on small guys. When it comes to them big guys, I'm just another good fighter. I'm not a monster. Arthur is a real monster. Is a real monster. So I think he's like, yo, nah, I'm gonna go back down to 168. I'm a monster at that weight, at the smaller. But these big guys, these guys my size, nah, I'm not an elite guy at this weight.
You think, I think some people pointed out in comparison to Plant fight, I know he dominated Plant on the second half.
Right.
But some people said that he looked like he started fading at that second.
Of course.
Do you see a consistency that David fades in the second half? Because I know he's got a lot of early stoppages.
Yeah, well, no, because usually that's when he gets strong in the second half. Like once he gets a smaller body. But now he's in there with a guy that punches back. Well, he was in there with a guy that punches back, that's big, that can take the punishment, and that can actually give some. And we see him fade. We see that David is just another. At light heavyweight, he's just another decent, good boxer. You get what I'm saying?
But do you feel he faded in the Plant fight? I guess.
No, I don't think I don't think he faded in the Plant fight. I think he comes on in the second half of the fight because those guys are not strong enough to hurt him, so he can kind of relax and fight at his own pace. At this fight, he couldn't fight at his own pace. He couldn't relax. He had to be on point. And he got hit with some good shots. David got hit with some good shots. You know, David got hit with some good shots. You know what I'm saying? But David got my respect, man. Listen, I respect him. He's not a. I thought he was a punk to just pick on small people, but he's not a punk. He went up there and fought somebody that's, you know, and he won, man. He won. I listen. One thing about me, I'm not a hater, and I tell the truth. I got to give him his props. If he really want to impress me, he'll fight Arthur.
Does this version of David Benavidez that you saw coming back down beat the Canelo that fought Jaime Munguia?
Yes. Yes. I can't see Canelo being able to keep that big man off of him. Like, David took some good shots from a big guy. I can't see Canelo being that strong. And, you know, that kid can punch. People can sleep on Alexander Volsky if they want to, but he put Adonis Stevenson on life support. Almost killed him. So he got a good punch. You know what I'm saying? I can't see Canelo being able to keep David off of him. You know what I'm saying? But I would love to see the fight. And I mean, like, when I say love to see the fight, like, you know, it's a fight that the fans want to see. But Canelo heart is big. Canelo gangster. So I know Canelo going to bring some heat. I just don't think, when it's all said and done, I just think he's too small for David.
No. You don't think that weight jump back down is going to hurt him a little bit?
David?
Yeah.
No. I don't think David making 68. How long? I don't think that's gonna hurt him. And then plus with all the stuff they do and the stuff they got and all, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it hurt him. I think his team will find a way to make sure he make the weight and strong. You know.